Welcome back to IELTS Navigator Pro. Ever wondered why the IELTS reading module often feels like a formidable challenge? If you've ever felt that sinking feeling of being overwhelmed by complex texts or struggled to maintain concentration throughout lengthy passages, you're certainly not alone. The reading module can be a tough nut to crack. Many IELTS aspirants grapple with time management during the test, wrestling with the clock while trying to comprehend intricate texts and answer a multitude of questions. The sheer volume of content to be read and understood under time pressure can make even the most seasoned test taker break a sweat. The struggle doesn't stop there. The complexity of the passages, filled with dense academic language and intricate arguments, can often leave students feeling lost and confused. Add to this the challenge of maintaining focus and concentration for an extended period, and you have a veritable gauntlet of difficulties to navigate. Well, you are not alone, and there are effective strategies to overcome these challenges. Imagine if you could quickly understand the main idea of a passage without reading every word. Sounds good? That's exactly what skimming does. Let's dive right into it. Skimming is a reading technique that allows you to swiftly review a piece of text for its central theme or general idea. It's like flying over a city in a helicopter, catching glimpses of the overall landscape without getting stuck in the minute details of every street and alley. So, how does one skim a passage effectively, you ask? You start by reading the title. The title is the beacon that illuminates the main subject or theme of the passage. Next, your eyes should dart to any subtitles. Subtitles are like signposts along the road, directing you towards the key points the author wants to emphasize. Then comes the first sentence of each paragraph, often referred to as the topic sentence. This sentence typically sets the stage for what the rest of the paragraph will discuss. By reading these topic sentences, you can get a quick and dirty summary of the passage's content. Imagine you're reading a passage titled, "The Impact of Climate Change on Polar Bears." The title gives you the main theme, climate change and polar bears. A subtitle might be, "Diminishing Ice Caps and Starvation," which provides a hint at one of the key points. Polar bears are starving due to melting ice caps. The first sentence of a paragraph might read, "As global temperatures rise, ice caps are melting at an unprecedented rate," further clarifying the connection between climate change and the plight of polar bears. Remember, skimming is not about understanding every detail. It's about getting a general sense of the text's content. It's an overview, a preview of the story that the text is about to unfold. With skimming, you'll gain a bird's-eye view of the text, which can help guide your understanding as you read more deeply. It's a powerful tool in your reading arsenal, especially when tackling the vast and varied passages you'll encounter in the IELTS reading module. So, get out there and start skimming. Now, how about finding specific information in a sea of words in no time? That's where scanning comes into play. Imagine you are in a crowded market looking for a friend wearing a red hat. You don't need to pay attention to every single person, just the ones with red hats. The scanning technique is a lot like this. It's like using a spotlight to illuminate specific details amidst a vast landscape of words. You're not trying to understand everything, but rather, you're searching for something particular. Let's consider an example to illustrate this better. Suppose you're given a text about the history of the Eiffel Tower. The question asks you to find the year when the Eiffel Tower was completed. Now, you don't need to read the entire text for this. Instead, you scan the passage, your eyes darting across the lines looking for numbers, specifically years. It's like playing detective, where your clues are keywords, dates, names, or any other specific details that can lead you to the answer. You're not reading in the traditional sense, you're seeking. The trick is to keep your mind focused on what you're looking for and not get distracted by the other information. Scanning is also particularly useful when you're dealing with multiple choice questions. Here, you can look at the options first, identify the keywords, and then scan the text for these words or related phrases. This can save you a lot of time and make the process much more efficient. However, it's important to remember that while scanning can help you find specific information quickly, it won't help you understand the overall meaning or context of the text. It's not a replacement for thorough reading, but rather a tool to be used in conjunction with other reading techniques. So the next time you're faced with a dense passage, don't be intimidated. Put on your detective hat, identify your clues, and start scanning. You'll be surprised at how quickly you can locate the information you need. Remember, scanning is not about understanding the entire text, but about locating the information you need. Time is of the essence when it comes to the IELTS reading module. Imagine the reading module as a marathon, not a sprint. It's about pacing yourself, not rushing to the finish line. The real challenge is not just understanding the passages, but understanding them within a set time frame. This is where time management comes into play. Time management is crucial in the reading module because it allows you to allocate your time efficiently across all tasks. It's like having a map that guides you through the test, ensuring you don't get lost in a sea of words and questions. So how can you manage your time effectively in the IELTS reading module? Here are some tips to help you navigate these turbulent waters. Firstly, set a time limit for each passage. Break down the 60 minutes you have into manageable chunks. Spend approximately 20 minutes on each passage. This way, you ensure that you devote equal time to each passage and don't end up scrambling to answer questions in the last few minutes. Secondly, don't spend too much time on difficult questions. It's easy to get stuck on a challenging question and lose track of time. If you find yourself struggling with a question, move on to the next one. Remember, every question carries the same weight. Don't let a single difficult question rob you of the chance to answer several easier ones. Finally, always leave time for review. Reserve the last 5 minutes to revisit your answers, especially those you were unsure about. You'd be surprised how a fresh pair of eyes can spot mistakes or see things from a different perspective. Remember, the goal is not to read every word in the passage, but to answer as many questions correctly as possible in the time given. It's about working smarter, not harder. Effective time management can be the difference between a good score and a great one. So start practicing these strategies today and see the difference it makes in your reading module performance. Good luck. Scene script. Even with these techniques, there are pitfalls you need to avoid. Firstly, the trap of not reading the instructions carefully. This might seem like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how often this happens. You might be eager to dive into the reading passage, but hold your horses. The instructions are there to guide you. They're your roadmap. Ignoring them is like embarking on a journey without a compass. So make a habit of reading the instructions thoroughly. Understand what's being asked of you before you begin. Next, the pitfall of spending too much time on one question. This one is a bit tricky. Yes, you want to answer every question correctly, but time is not your friend here. If you find yourself stuck on a particular question, don't let it consume all your time. It's okay to move on to the next one. Remember, every question carries the same weight. So don't lose the opportunity to answer easier questions because you were too busy wrestling with a tough one. And then, there's the pitfall of rushing through the test. In an attempt to finish quickly, you might skim too fast or skip important details. Slow down. It's not a race. You're better off taking a little extra time to understand the passage than rushing and missing key points. So, how do we overcome these pitfalls? Well, practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the better you become at understanding instructions, managing your time, and reading at a comfortable pace. Another strategy is to keep a cool head. Panicking will only lead to mistakes. Take deep breaths, stay focused, and approach each question methodically. Finally, remember to review your answers. If time permits, go back and check your work. You might catch a mistake or find an answer to a question you previously skipped. Remember, it's not just about the destination, it's about the journey of learning, understanding, and improving. Avoiding these common pitfalls is just as important as mastering the reading techniques. So, we've covered a lot today. Let's quickly recap. We began by exploring the skimming technique, a useful strategy to quickly grasp the overall idea of a text. Remember, you're not reading for detail here, but for a broader understanding. Next, we dove into scanning technique. This is your tool for finding specific information swiftly, like a searchlight moving across the text. It's all about the keywords. We also discussed the importance of time management. By allocating your time wisely, you can ensure you're not rushing through the last few questions, or even worse, leaving them unanswered. Finally, we touched upon common pitfalls. Remember, overlooking instructions or misinterpreting the question can lead to avoidable errors. Keep a clear mind, stay focused, and always double-check your work. With these techniques in your arsenal, conquering the IELTS reading module is within your reach. Good luck, and please, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.